Salutations friends, we are back, we are sewing once more. Today I'm going to be showing you how I made this beautiful little apron out of this beautiful green patterned fabric that I found at that beautiful little thrift store. I've been dying to make this project ever since I picked up this fabric, and it's just life stuff came up, and then I was waiting for a spot to set up my sewing machine, which that will be an entirely different video, and it just kept getting put off for the last few weeks until finally I did it. I have my little sewing nook, I have my little apron now, and it just all came together beautifully. I started off this project with a sketch, as I usually do, but I don't think I've ever really showed it. But this is basically my book where I do all my sketches for my fashion stuff. But this was the initial sketch. I ended up changing a few things about it. I ended up changing the crisscrossing straps into just regular straps, and I shortened the skirt. And instead of doing gathers, I pleated mine, but you definitely don't have to do that. Pleating is a nightmare and it takes so long. I would suggest just gathering it. And the pattern that I used for this, which was self-drafted, was basically just a bunch of different sized rectangles. And it was super easy, super quick to put together. I think this would be a great beginner project if you think that you would like an apron like this. If you have a sewing machine and a couple yards of pretty fabric that you think would make a cute apron, then I 100% suggest trying this, because this is awesome. I love this thing. It could be a great just afternoon project. Just cut out some rectangles and some squares and make yourself a cute little apron. If you want measurements, I also sketched that up. So these are the measurements that I used, and I cut out all the little shapes. I did add my own seam allowance to them, so you can just add whatever you're comfortable with. And what I did was I cut out 2 of these 10 by 10 squares just so that I could have a lining on the top, but you totally don't have to do that. So with all that said, let's get right into how this came together. So once you have all your pieces cut out, you're going to go ahead and do a 1/2 inch rolled hem on the 2 hanging sides of the skirt, and then fold up the bottom hem 1 inch. I cut this edge on the selvage, so I only turned it over once and hemmed it down, but if you have a raw edge, I suggest turning it over twice before hemming it. Next, you're going to find the middle of the skirt and measure out 5 inches from either side of that mark, and then you're going to either pleat or gather the extra fabric on either side down to 7 inches. Now take those waist ties and pin and sew them right sides together on the top edge of those pleats, and press those up and over and pin and sew them to finish off those waist ties. Now we can start on the top. Take your main fabric and your lining and sew them right sides together. Make sure to leave about 1 inch open at the bottom of both side seams, and then you can clip the corners and turn it right side out. Then attach that bottom edge that you left open to the unpleated section of the skirt. And finally, grab those pieces that you cut out for the straps and start pressing in those edges, about 3/8 of an inch. Do that for both of the long edges, then both of the short edges, and then fold the strap in half, matching up the folded edges, and sew all the way around to close it up and finish the strap. Now, you can attach the straps to the apron multiple ways depending on what you're comfortable with. I decided to make some buttonholes in the ends of my straps and attach them with these cute little brown buttons. But you could also just sew them to the apron if you don't want to bother with buttons, and aside from that, you don't have to just attach them in a normal way like I did. You could do the crossback straps, or you could just attach them to the front of the apron and tie them up behind your neck to create like a halter type thing, or really whatever you want. This is a super versatile pattern. And that's it. This was super easy, and again, I think it would be a great beginner's project. And it functions not only as an apron, but I personally plan on wearing it almost as an overdress or a mock pinafore on a day-to-day basis, on top of wearing it as an apron while I'm out gardening and whatnot, since I am terrible when it comes to wiping my hands on my clothes when they're dirty, and this will just act as an extra layer of protection from my awful habits. And that's gonna be it for me today. If you enjoyed watching how this came together, feel free to click that like button, and if you do choose to make this, then be sure to tag me on any posts you make on Instagram. My username over there is @Eveline Fletcher, and I would love to see any recreation of this. I don't know if that's ever gonna happen, but if you do, it would make me really excited to see somebody recreate this with their own taste in fabric and everything. And if you'd like to stick around and see me make more things and go on more adventures and all that good stuff, then be sure to subscribe. I upload every Thursday and I would love to have you. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to wash your hands. Goodbye. I need to know how to talk. Why can't I talk today? Also, my hat is sideways and it was like that the whole time. Oh my god.